Hey y'all, I'm Laura with Hot Fan Media, and today I'm going to be showing you how to replace the starter in a 2013 Honda Accord. Let's get to it. So your starter is in here. You're not going to need to get underneath the vehicle. It's a pretty simple procedure. It sits right here. And so first thing we're going to do is get all this battery tray out of the way. I'm going to need a 10mm for both these bolts right here and the battery terminal bolts. I just want to back these off a little bit, not all the way, because if you take them off all the way, you don't have to. It's just a lot easier to grab this whole piece right here, just set it aside. And we're going to take the battery terminals off. Okay, and then we're just going to pop these little pops out. Just set this aside and just lift our battery out now in that tray. It's not attached to anything, which is odd to me, but I didn't design it. Now we have access to the starter. We've got a 10mm bolt right here that just holds this clip on. We have the wiring harness that clips in right here. Two 14mm bolts, one at the bottom and one at the top. And then that's it. The starter will be able to just come out. Gonna set this aside, and now we have the wiring harness clip. You're just gonna depress. You're just gonna push this tab down right here, wiggle it out. I just hook it right in there, lay it aside. We also have the negative battery terminal ground wire here. 12mm? Yeah, it's a 12mm. That just lifts up now. I'm just going to try to get it up out of the way here. So now all that's holding it in are this big bolt right here at the top and the big one at the bottom. And they are 14mm. Pretty long bolts. Okay, this gets a little bit awkward trying to get it to come out, but we're just going to lift it up off the flywheel and slide it down. And then just up and out. Like that. Okay, we've got our new starter here. It's come with its own grounding nut, so I'm just going to take that off, set it aside, and we're going to try to put it in like we took it out. So just slide it between this coolant hose and the battery tray. Takes a little bit of finagling to get it through, and it's not quite on the flywheel yet. You'll feel it. I'm holding it flush with the block, and I can push it up and down, and it's not moving, so I know that I've got the teeth lined up. Now I'm just gonna stick the 14mm bolts back in, hold it in place, just kind of hand twist them in. And it's going to be difficult to see because it's such tight quarters, but there's a bracket that you're going to need to put the bolt in before you screw it into the block. So you got to be careful of that. It's kind of difficult to get tools in here, so it's a little bit easier to just get them flush by hand. Just going to get them nice and snug They're pretty big bolts, so they can take some tightening, but you don't want to tighten them too much. The new grounding bolt is a 13 millimeter instead of a 12 millimeter. So I'm just going to pull this back down. Okay, we're going to go ahead and plug it back in. Bracket goes back on. Okay, tray's just going to set down back in here. Lay your battery down in. You want to make sure that you got your positive and negatives right. So your bracket has an arrow. You want that pointing towards you. It's just going to slide into this hole right here. It's got a hook on the end. It just slides into that hole. You're not going to be able to see it from the back, but there's a hole in the back too, and you're going to just want to slide that in. It's a little finicky. And I'm just going to kind of put pressure on them so that they don't jump out of the holes. Doesn't have to be tight, you're just holding the battery in. Now we're going to put the battery terminals back on. And this thing is just going to slide back in. Okay, now we're just going to clean up our tools, give it a crank, see how it goes. And that's it. We hope you found this video helpful, and as always, I'll be happy to answer as many questions as I can in the comments below. If you'd like to see more videos like this, you can leave a like or subscribe. It really does help our channel grow. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again in the shop.